Hey folks, Nathan here from the Star Wars Timeline Gold, Star Wars Beyond the Films, and the Star Wars gaming podcast Cloud City Casino, bringing you a look at the first wave of expansions for Star Wars Legion for Fantasy Flight Games. This is a Stormtroopers unit expansion, and it is very much like the Rebel Trooper expansion that we saw in the previous video. You may recall that for Rebel Troopers, there's a unit that has 7 when you buy that unit expansion, and that in the core set you have 2 copies of that set of 7. And the Rebel Troopers expansion gave you another set of 7, but all still identical. Same thing here. The core set gave you 2 sets of 7 Stormtroopers each for 2 Stormtrooper units. This would give you a 3rd copy of the same thing as far as the minis go. All the minis are different from each other, but if you get multiple copies, obviously they're all going to wind up with, say 2 or 3 of each of these unique ones from that particular unit. So we have here our unit card and our order token that goes with it, this time Imperial, our aim token, our standby token, our dodge token, no ion token this time, which is different from the Rebel Trooper set. We have our panic token, 3 suppression tokens, and our proof of purchase, again, just like we saw with the Rebels. Then we have the Stormtroopers card to add 1 Stormtrooper mini, just like the Rebel Trooper one had one of those. We have our 2 cards, our upgrade cards that are going to allow us to use a couple of our specialists here. So our DLT-19 Stormtrooper, one for the HH-12 Stormtrooper, that's the cool one with sort of the rocket launcher going on. And just like Rebel Troopers, our other 2 upgrade cards are an impact grenade from the grenades category and the grappling hooks from the gear category. So very similar to the Rebel Troopers pack, very similar to what we got back in the core game. These 2 certainly are new options to play with, and of course if you want to just add Stormtroopers to your game, this is how you'll do it. Now, one thing I didn't mention when talking about the Rebel Troopers back in the previous video is how much these unit expansions cost. This unit expansion for Stormtroopers, to add 7 Stormtroopers, in theory possibly, but to add a Stormtrooper unit to your game is $25 for this. Yeah, these are miniatures that you are going to be putting together with superglue. Miniatures that come in anywhere from 2 to 4 pieces. Minis that you then superglue to their bases, right? So there is assembly required. They're unpainted. You can paint them if you like, whether they're assembled or not. And what you're getting here is a little bit of new, a lot of stuff you got before. This is much more like bringing reinforcements into the game than what we see a lot of times with games like, say, Imperial Assault in terms of what you're getting for your money. And yes, because these are individual sculpts, it is more expensive. So $25 for this. Miniature Market has them for about $20. And yes, the Rebel Troopers unit expansion is also $25, going for about $20 online. So it is a more expensive game to play than something like Imperial Assault, but you've got higher detail minis, and you've got more unique minis, or at least they're all unique from each other, unlike an Imperial Assault. If you got Stormtroopers, all the Stormtroopers are the same model, or from the same mold, so they all look identical. Here they don't. But that difference does cost you a little bit. Next time, we'll take a look at the ATRT and see how it actually differs in its expansion form from what we got in the core set.